Makita makes great cordless tools, but their batteries come with one super annoying issue. If the BMS doesn't like something, it goes into protection mode and locks the battery permanently. In my previous video I showed how to build the OBI tool which can fix that problem. I ran 10 faulty Makita 18V batteries through it and 3 of them came back to life without 0 internal repairs. But that still left me with 7 batteries where the OBI flagged different issues. So today we're going to see how many of these we can actually repair and if the OBI can unlock them afterwards. Let's start with the easiest fix and balance some cell groups. Here's a quick reminder of what OBI told us. Battery number 7 is locked because 2 cell groups are out of balance. Battery number 8 has the same story but with one unbalanced group. After breaking the seal and removing 4 bolts, I cracked the case open and yep, OBI was spot on. One group was low and needed a small charge to match the others. So here comes my favorite universal smart charger, the M7AC. I connected alligator clips to the low cell group, set the charger to a 1S configuration at 4 amps and let it do its thing. It limits current at low voltages so you don't stress the cells, then ramps up automatically when it's safe. Perfect tool for this job. I kept an eye on the voltage and stopped the charge manually at 3.8 volts, which settles around 3.5 volts, perfect matching the other groups. The multimeter confirmed it and the case could be closed. I repeated the exact same procedure on battery number 7, then jumped back to OBI for error clearing. All cells are now nicely balanced, which allows the BMS to unlock. The charger confirms that too. Battery number 8 also unlocks successfully and charges without any issues. So just a simple cell balance with a BMS unlock brings these 2 batteries back to life. Now here's the weird one. OBI said everything was unlocked, but the battery still refuses to output voltage to a tool. That's classic blown fuse behavior. Cells were balanced around 3 volts. The whole pack read at healthy 15 volts, but at the output terminals, almost nothing. A quick continuity test confirmed it. All 3 fuses were cooked and needed replacement. But I had something even better, a fully functional BMS board from another battery with completely dead cells. So instead of replacing 3 individual fuses, I did a full BMS swap, which should be way less frustrating. Unsoldering the balance wires was a pain because the factory didn't just solder them. They twisted first and then soldered it. What were they thinking? As if solder alone isn't strong enough, but with the positive and negative taps preheated, the BMS lifted off nicely. Since I was already inside, it's always a good idea to check the temperature sensor. It should measure around 10 kiloohms at room temperature. If it's not in that range, replace it. This thin film style sensor is the factory version, but any 10 kiloohms thermistor will work fine. A bad temperature sensor makes the charger think the battery is too hot or too cold, so it just keeps blowing air and never starts charging. Speaking of fuses, Makita uses 30 amps fuses in its 5 amp hour batteries. I think they also use them in their other capacity batteries. 2 sits on one side and 1 on other. In theory, that's 90 amps of parallel protection. Here are the model numbers and good luck sourcing them, because they are unique and insanely pricey. In my opinion, the best source is salvaging them from other faulty BMS boards. Since this BMS was healthy, I set it aside and will return replacing its fuses later if any of the remaining donor batteries have them. Meanwhile, I installed the donor board into the pack, soldered all balance wires, and reattached the main positive and negative tabs. Once I connected the OBI, I could finally clear the remaining error flags, and the battery indicator returned to normal. But here's the real test. The charger accepted, and the pack can be fully charged. If you're into electronics or DIY builds, PCBWay is one of the best places to get high-quality custom parts manufactured. They are known for their excellent PCBs, it's even in their name, but they also offer CNC machining, laser cutting, sheet metal fabrication, 3D printing in plastics and metals, and even injection molding. The process is really simple. Choose the service you need, upload your design files, pick up your materials, and you instantly get a quote with pricing upfront. And if something in your design needs tweaking, their engineers will actually help you fix it before production, which has saved me more than once. No matter how simple or complex your project is, sooner or later you need custom-made parts, and unless you've got a full workshop at home, you'll want a reliable place to get them made. That's exactly where PCBWay comes in. Whether you're prototyping, building something completely custom, or just need a one-off part, PCBWay can make it quickly, professionally, and at great price. Check out the link in the description to see what they can create for you. Now for the last 3 batteries. Here's a quick reminder of what OBI told us. The 6th battery is locked and has 1 dead cell group. The 9th battery is locked and has 1 dead cell group. So, 2 of them had a single group of dead cells that needed replacement. The 3rd had a locked BMS that only allowed diagnostics, with no possibility to unlocking. Perfect donor material. Lucky coincidence, the donor and both repairable batteries use the same Sony Murata VTC5 cells. And when I check them with OBI tool, they all have very similar charge cycle count. That gives me a lot of confidence in the repair because the cells are evenly aged. So the plan was simple. Remove the bad cells from their holders, replace them with the healthy ones, spot weld with pure nickel tabs, and make sure the new cells match the voltage of the rest of the pack. I didn't film this part in detail because I already have plenty of videos on my channel showing this full process. Then I back into OBI. All 5 cell groups showed perfectly balanced. One press of the magic button and the BMS unlocked. Charger test. Accepted and charging. What about the second one? Same thing. Accepted and charging without any issues. 2 more batteries were saved. So here's what we ended up with. Out of 10 faulty Makita batteries, only 2 could not be saved. And those 2 became perfect donors for cells and BMS parts used in the repairs. In my opinion, that's a very small price to pay for such high success rate. 8 out of 10 faulty batteries are now fully operational again. A really cool feature is that OBI can be used without opening the battery, which means no warranty voiding. Proof right here, they all still have the original white Makita warranty seals. For example, if you want to check the health of your batteries, this device shows you everything in just a few clicks. Super useful for repairs, for buying used tools, or just to check the condition of your own batteries. Keep in mind this project is still evolving and doesn't work with every single Makita 18V BMS version. It uses an Arduino board running code created by a talented Finnish programmer, Martin Jansson. Huge shout out to him, and I leave a link to this project in the video description. It can also be reached by just typing in Google OBI Makita GitHub. But in my case, I connected to all 10 batteries, and for 9 of them I was able to reset the error flags and bring them back to life. Honestly, I'm blown away by how useful the OBI module is. It tells you exactly what's wrong, saves ton of time, and removes all the guesswork. If you want to build one yourself, all the parts, schematics, and 3D print files are in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.